Okay. Yes, recording in progress. I have started the recording, so the class can kick off now.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
So, am I to take over now?
Yes, you can.
All right. Oh, I thought this was going to be a video thing.
Yes, you can enable your video, sir. We actually did this to avoid distractions. You know, all of us are in different locations in our rooms, and so we probably will stay like this just to avoid unnecessary distractions. And so except you want to share screen, so I will allow multiple sharing of screen, which I have done just now. You can share your screen from your side, sir.
And then if he wants to do video, he can. He should just be the only one doing it.
Okay,
okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, good evening once again.
Good evening, sir.
My name is MoShood ADEBAYO. I write novels and I'm a teacher. So here today, I'll be talking about carving out the niche ourselves in the art of fiction writing. Carving out a niche ourselves in the art of fiction writing. All right.
We are with you, sir.
The reason everybody writes is different. So this brings us into examining the topic, the niche that sells. The niche that sells. So what is the to the people without expecting any financial returns or selling of ideas the same way? So why does a fiction writer pick up a pen? What does he want? Does he want to make money? Does he want to educate? Does he want to make money? Does he want to educate? Does he want to express? Or does he want to protest? What does he want? So that is the basis of any literary adventure. So anything aside from that is just random babbling, random muttering. You are not aiming to achieve anything. Then there is no point. There has to be a reason. Why does the writer write? Is it to entertain? Is it to just express? He is full of thoughts. He is about to explode. So he has to just talk to someone, probably an unknown audience somewhere. Or does he want to protest against injustice, against injustice in the political aspect, religious injustice, or social injustice, or educational injustice, whatever. Now, Am I being heard clearly, please?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, sir.
But we can hear you now.
That is the problem with Nigerian network, you.
Well, mine is clear here.
I can see that. I can hear it.
I can
I'm
hear
not
you
sure if
clearly.
I'm seeing.
It's in Nigerian network.
All right.
Anyway.
Yes,
All
just
right.
keep talking. It's recorded, and your voice is recorded as well. So even if every one of us cannot hear because of the network in our different locations, we will still be able to access the recorded version when it is posted.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So can I continue now?
Yes, you can. You can, sir.
So when the writer finds out what he hopes, what he sets
Yes, you
out,
can.
then we come back to examine that niche that sells. What does that sell? What does it mean? If it is for someone who wants to make money, then we could say that niche that sells, that brings in financial profit. But if it is to cause, for example, now to rouse the rabble, to incite people into public violence or verbal violence or whatever kind of violence, or it's just a kind of a peaceful protest or whatever it is that you hope to achieve with your writing. Once you achieve that, then whatever you write sells. Once the aim is achieved, then if you are only aiming to entertain and people are entertained and people are in love with what you are writing, they're in love with your art, and they are looking for it everywhere. And I don't know, maybe you are selling the books, maybe you are not exchanging the books for money. As long as people want to see it, people want to read it, then that is a niche that sells. That indeed sells. Now, how do you achieve this? Achieve this? A lot of people write. There are many writers out there. It is a race. It is a race. Like a crowded race that it is only those that are leading that are seen. Even if there are those who are the best runners in the crowd, once they cannot jump over the people that surround them and they cannot push them, well, unless they can push them, they will not come to the front. But there is a technique that the runner could employ to outrun the others on the track and get to the front where the camera sees and projects him to the world. So what are these steps? What are these steps to take? How do you find out how well you run? And on a grassland, sit on a page, sit in the bush, sit you find out what you are really good at or what you can produce that will sell. Because you see, someone who is supposed to be writing, someone who is supposed to be writing um, novels of political orientation or for social education, and this person is writing romance. Well, unless he tries the other parts, and then he writes a romance and it's not successful, and he keeps on writing it. Perhaps that is not what works for him. Perhaps he has to try other things too. So how do you find out what actually works for you? How do you find out uh what you will do that will sell? So the first step is that you evaluate your passion. Now, the problem most people have is everybody wants to write, but they don't know, you don't know what you are good at. You don't know what you don't know what you're good at. Someone like me, I have experimented with different genres, and I know that I could take on any kind of genre, and I will do well. It's not the same for everybody. So how do you carve out the niche that sells? That is the genre that you're good at, that you'll be able to express yourself flawlessly. How do you know? How do you find out where you belong? If you are a cyclist, you can't be in high jump or whatever they call it in the Olympics. If you are a runner, you can't be fighting. You can't be boxing. So if you are boxing, you might not be great there. So unless you find out where you truly belong, things might not be of legendary standard. It might just be average, like most people around us. So you evaluate your passion. And how do you evaluate your passion? How do you find out what you have passion in? How do you find that out? Well, for me, I think it's easy. It's easy. Things that when you sit that and watch or read or listen to, you don't get bored. Your interest is piqued. You are suddenly excited about it. For example, now, what kind of movie do you like to watch? Now, when people watch uh Indian movies, they are lost in it. Some friends of mine like that. But when I watch the Indian movies with them, I don't. The storylines seem to abuse my intelligence. I'm like, what are these people doing? And then stops the car with his hand. If this character has been portrayed to be a Sipahi, then you will have understood that this is a Sipahi. But a normal person, a carpenter who's younger and is beating 100 people at once, all those things. If you want to lie to me, you have to be creative about it. It has to be believable. So I see that I do not have interest in that. So it is what you have interest in, that you enjoy doing, that makes you forget about your worries, that makes you forget about the world, even if momentarily. That is where your passion lies. What do you have? What kind of writing do you have passion for? There are people that like that write journal, that write notes for journalists, for news media. There are people that only like to write research works for scientific pursuits. There are people that just like to entertain. Now, they might be scientific. It's one kind of reportage. It might come all the other elements of the other fields of writing, but their aim is to entertain, and that is what they do. Evaluate, find out what you love to do, that you don't get tired of doing. That is your passion. Now, okay, you know your passion. You know that it's romance that you like. I often want to think that the what you like to read as a writer, the kind of books you like to read, that is the kind of books you do well writing. If you like to read non-fiction, then there is nothing you're looking for in writing fiction. If you like to read fiction, then you will write fiction well. If you like to read magical realism, that is what you will do well writing. If you like to read romance, that is what you will do well writing. If you like to read crime, that is what you will do well writing. And one way or another, you are uncovering the colors of your passion. You are discovering what you have passion for, and then you find out this is what you have passion for. What happens after? You figure out your audience. Now, okay. Now, before you figure out your audience, you should ask yourself again, what do you want from your audience? Do you want money? Do you just want to express, or is it a kind of protest? Is it an activistic writing? Is it just that it is just fun for you writing? You don't even have any aim. So who are the people that like the kind of genre that you write? If you want to write romance in Nigeria now, you have to be targeting girls. You have to write in such a way that that girls, or let me say women or female, will relate to what you are writing and they will fall in love with it. So you cannot want to write romance now. Romance not only for women alone, young people generally. I don't know. Maybe old people also love to read romance. But I, as a person, I used to love romance in the past. But now with too many things in my head, with so many responsibilities, I can't even think of somebody making me excited with the details of how somebody kissed someone else and all those. Again, I'm not interested in all those things. So I think if someone would if someone would do well as a romance fiction writer, then he would target the young audience and probably females, and the characters that would develop will be technically, intentional, deliberately designed to be loved by the audience. So what do what does this what does the age group want? What do they like to read? Like um women of older age, or probably between 30 25 to 30, they like to read about marriage, because at that age in life, that is what they are most interested in my experience. People that I know that are between 25 to 30, they are always talking about marriage. So if I want to target them, if I want to sell my ideas or sell my books to them, then the book will be something that talks about marriage, and that is for people that are seeking to to carve out niche that sells. So some people don't care about whether something sells or not. They just want to express. If you like, read it. If you like, don't read it. They don't care about. They don't target any audience. So we're talking about people that are deliberate, that want to be deliberate about who they write for, or what they want from that writing. So you write what's relatable to the audience that you target, and then you are doing that now, or you want to do that now. You need to sound unique. You need to sound noticeable. It is like a market of people wearing black dresses. If you are in white or you are in red, you'll be you'll be easily spottable. I don't know if that word exists. You'll be easily noticeable. You'll be seen easily. So that is the hunt, the game that everybody is seeing now, is playing now. The game of struggling to be unique. So you look for a way to be unique. And how do you do that? How do you do that? Then, okay, you want to write um, uh, uh, fantasies. You want to write fantasies. Who are the fantasy writers in your environment or wherever you are targeting, if it is local or international, who are the top fantasy writers, you have to read their books. You have to see the way they do this. Now it is either you fashion yourself after them so that you can share in their audience, you can share in the appeal that people have for them or something like that, or you sound or you try to be different from them so that yours will sound different to people. At the end of the day, I don't think being unique can be forced. I don't know. Maybe it can be maybe it can be learned. Maybe someone can be deliberately unique. But I think uniqueness is just it's just being you. I mean, just write what you'd love to read. Write what you'd love to read. People that also like there's people that is what I do. I write what I'd love to read. What I love to read. That is what I like. That is what I write. So if I want the one that was writing it, if someone else had written it, definitely anybody who like or anyone who likes what I like would like what I'm writing because like we are like minds. We are our interests are similar. So and that is uniqueness on its own. So struggling to find out how to be unique, like writing or reading a book on how to be unique, it's just like torture or waste of time to me. I wouldn't do that. I won't and I don't know. I don't know if it is safe or unsafe to advise anyone to do or not to do that as well. So just do what works for you or what you think is right for you. Then if it does not work, then you change direction. So you have to. But the primary thing is even if you're not studying your counterparts to be better than them, you have to study them to learn how, because nobody is perfect. You have to take the style of this, take the style of that, take the styles of different writers and merge all the styles together to build your own style, or probably to smoothen, to fine tune your own style. If you don't read other people's books, the chances are your book will not be interesting. You might be good at creating stories or imagining stuff, but expression matters. If the story is good but the telling is not good, then the objective might not be achieved. So we study our counterparts to learn from them, and that is, if even if it is not learning how to write or how to write well from them or how all the styles they use, you could study something else, like, okay, how do they do it that people love them? Like what are they doing? Like, if let us imagine that there is a particular writer now, people love him so much, and you read all his books, and in all his books, uh maybe the protagonist, the main character is female, or the main character is a married woman, and she does this, she does that. There are antagonists. At the end of the day, she wins in whatever battle that the story tells about her. Then you know that it is like a psychological study. You know that if people like this man, and he writes this way, that means people write this kind people like this idea of a married woman doing this, doing that, championing her struggles and all that. Then if if you could do something like that and project it to a similar audience that he has, then you have higher chances of succeeding. as a writer, you have to study your counterparts. I do not want to say your competition. Um, sometimes we do not get the definition of competition right. Like, okay, study your competition. People that don't even know you exist, or you are not even in the same league as they are. So maybe their competition is on ways, but I would like to see them as counterparts, or pace setters or something like that, because you are like, you want to walk in their lane. So eventually you might catch up and be ahead, you might not, but the sky is wide enough for everybody to fly. So now let me quickly do a recap. You have to know what your passion is first. If you want to carve a niche that sells for yourself, know what your passion is. Then find out who your audience are. Who are your audience? Are they children? Are they adults? Are they old people? Are they medical people? Are they prisoners? Are they military people? Who do you want? Who do you want? Whose hands do you want your book? So that is what will guide your writing. That is what will finalize your reason for writing. At that point, you will know why you are writing, because now you have an audience, and you know what you want them to want them to have, want them to learn, or what want them to do, or what you want your book to incite them to do. So that is like, if the reason is not clear, the writing is blind. So the reason has to be clear, and knowing your audience is a way to like narrow that reason down to the stage of exactitudes. Now, you know what is relatable to them. I mean, you know what they want to know, what they want to read. Uh, uh, then you write it. Now, you are writing it now. Probably you're not selling, or they are still not getting it the way you are not still being accepted the way you'd imagined. Now you have to find out this audience of yours, what are the authors that they are patronizing. I mean, who are the authors that they are patronizing? When you find the authors, then you study their methods, not necessarily to be better than them, or not necessarily to compete. It's just to know, you like to understand your market. You understand your market. MTN sells, Glow sells, Airtel sells. If MTN is a better network in your area, it might not be the better network in another person's area. But what matters is that everybody is selling. So I don't see, though MTN and Airtel are competitors, so those ones are competitors. But I'd like us to see the other writers as counterparts. Now, you've done all this. You know your passion. You know your audience. You've studied the market. Now the next thing is to tell the story. Tell it the way you'd love to be told. How would you like to be told? Write it that way. That is, you might not write it that way, but I think that will be easier for you. I know how I like to read stories. That is how I write it. If I read a book and I don't know, like if I read a book and the writer sets out to prove grammatical superiority of sorts, like every corner, big words, I will not finish that book. So I don't write that way, because I don't write to impress. I don't write to impress. I write to entertain. So if you also want to write to impress, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. People that read to be impressed will like your book. So I don't like to tell someone that this is the right way to write and this is the wrong way to write. So write the way you like. Tell your story the way you would love to be told if you were not the one writing it. And after that, then you keep improving. You keep improving. Knowledge is a driver of creativity for a writer. Knowledge is a driver of creativity. What would the writer know? What would the writer write if he is ignorant? What would, like, you are writing now and you don't know that Europe is a continent, and You write a book and you are mentioning that Europe is a country, and probably your editors also miss it, and you publish the book like that. See, you will be popular for being stupid, or you might be popular for being ignorant, and I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing. So you've done all this now. Now, okay, that is like the foundation, but you need to acquire knowledge. You need to read, you need to watch movies, you need to watch your environment, you need to watch people, you need to read stuff. And when I say read stuff, I don't know, it depends on what you want to write. I personally, I believe that Facebook or other social media is not a place where where a writer wants to be extraordinary goes to read stuff. Facebook is a garden of opinions, not necessarily of facts. Everybody is white, everybody is right, everybody is writing stuff. So I don't think that's a place a writer should spend most of his time. You should spend your time reading.
Hello. 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 Can
We are
we
here. Yeah, we are here.
hear me, please?
Yeah.
Sorry, we have